Microsoft Excel made easy. Excel has over 400 keyboard shortcuts, but you can't learn them all. Why not start with these top 15 powerful Excel workbook shortcuts to make your work faster? Hello people, welcome to Microsoft Excel made easy. So in this video, we are going to be looking at the top 15 Excel workbook shortcut keys that every Excel user should know. And on our screen here, the first one is Ctrl N. So it's just basically holding down your Ctrl and pressing N, and you notice that it will be able to create a whole new workbook for you. Very easy. So just take note of what's happening now. I'm going to put a spotlight on this. Okay, so holding down, clicking on my workbook again, pressing down Ctrl N, you notice that a whole new workbook is created. My Excel app is such that my workbooks are actually arranged in tabs. Is that right? So the Excel that I'm using is version 2016. Other subsequent versions might probably have your workbook open in separate windows, but mine is so that it is arranged or opened in different tabs. So I can go ahead to close this workbook and close this workbook depending on what I want to achieve. And this is the present workbook that we are currently working on. So you can do well to check out these many shortcut keys. So the next shortcut keys that we're going to be looking at is Ctrl O. So hold down Ctrl and at the same time press down O, and it will open this interface for you. So what this helps you to do is to open previous Excel workbook that you already have open before, or you can browse your computer to open an existing workbook that you have there, or you can go to this PC, then select the different folders depending on what you want to achieve. Very easy. The next Excel shortcut key that we're going to look at is Ctrl S. Ctrl S. Now, supposing you already have an Excel workbook opened and you've made some changes, easily pressing Ctrl S will save that workbook at that present state. Does that make sense? So once you press Ctrl S, it will save whatever changes that you've made before the last change was made. For a new workbook entirely, if you eventually press Ctrl S, it will take you straight to what? Save as. All right? So you'll be saving that workbook like from scratch. You're creating a new document and you're going to be giving it a name. But suppose you want to save this workbook with the save as feature in Microsoft Excel, so you just give it a name. So let's say new tax. All right, so new tax report. And once you're through, you hit what? Save. It's as easy as that. Now, the next Excel workbook shortcut keys that we're going to be looking at is Ctrl W. What Ctrl W does is to close the presently opened workbook for you. All right. So to illustrate this, I'm going to bring on my highlighter tool. I notice that this new tax report is what we already have open. So when I hit Ctrl W, you notice that that particular workbook has been closed down. Hope that helps. Now, the next one that we're going to be looking at is Ctrl F4. Ctrl F4 is the same key that you press to close any kind of applications on Windows. Is all right. So, but in this case, what it does is similar to that of what? Ctrl W. The only difference is that Ctrl F4 closes the main active Excel workbook. As far as this version is concerned, it might be different from yours, but you can go ahead to try it. Now, supposing I want to close down this particular workbook that says what? Delete book 10. So I hold down Ctrl F4 on my keyboard. I notice that that particular workbook closes. Now, the next keyboard shortcut key that we're going to be looking at is Ctrl PageDown. So it's as easy as hitting what? Ctrl PageDown on your computer. I notice that it switches between different worksheets on your workbook. Okay, so just pay attention to this lower part of your screen. So when I hit Ctrl PageDown, it switches to the next worksheet. Ctrl PageDown, it switches to the next worksheet. Now that brings us to the next Excel workbook shortcut key, which is Ctrl PageUp. So just like Ctrl PageDown moves us to the next worksheet to the right, Ctrl PageUp moves us to the next worksheet to the left. Does that make sense? All right. So this is what the different shortcut keys as far as Ctrl PageUp and PageDown is concerned. Now this Excel shortcut keys is majorly to help you to work faster, work smartly, and work more efficiently. The next group of Excel workbook shortcut keys that we're going to be looking at is the Alt Page Down. Now on your workbook, you should notice that you have your set of data and you have a particular cell selected. Now when you hit on Alt Page Down, notice what happens. It takes you to different pages of your worksheet. So I press down Alt and Page Down. It takes me to the next available page on my worksheet. Alt Page Down to the next available page on my worksheet until I get to the last page. So also for Alt Page Up, it takes you to the previous available page on your worksheet. All right. So you can easily navigate across your worksheet while holding down Alt Page Up and Alt Page Down. Now let us just analyze what is happening. Now you notice that on this screen, the available column is from column A to what? Column G. Definitely column H is kind of what? Hidden. Now supposing I want to view the next page on this worksheet, what I just need to do is to hold down Alt Page Down and it should view the next page. Remember, H was a little bit hidden. Now H is visible. Now supposing I want to view the next page on this worksheet, since U is completely visible, the next page will start from definitely view. So Alt Page Down, you now see what is happening. So this shortcut keys tends to make your work very, very easy and faster. Instead of coming down here with your mouse button and moving this slider to the right or to the left, as this case may be, that is not efficient enough. Hope you are getting value from this video. All right, so the next keyboard shortcut that we'll be looking at is the Alt A. Now when you press down the Alt key on your keyboard, press down Alt, then leave it, then press A. What it does is that it's going to move you from your home tab to your data tab. I noticed that your data tab has a whole lot of ribbons that you can actually work with. How about that? Now notice what happens. I'm in my home menu tab. I hold down Alt and I press what? A. Okay, it moves straight to the data tab. You won't actually understand how massive all these shortcut keys are until you eventually start using Excel full time. Now, one thing I want us to understand is that some of these shortcut keys will not work if you are eventually editing an active cell. Is that all right? Now look at this active cell on cell A22. Supposing I hold down Ctrl N to create a new workbook, it will not definitely work because I'm actually editing a cell. And once you are editing a cell, a whole lot of functionalities will be disabled. Most of all the items is disabled, okay? But supposing I click on another cell, each of the items will be enabled back. So if you are typing in any of the keyboard shortcuts and it's not working, make sure that the cell selected is not in the editing mode. Is that all right? Now, the next available keyboard shortcut key that we're going to be looking at is the Alt W. Now, when you press the Alt W, notice what happens. It takes you to the View tab. All right. So all these tabs that we are switching between is actually very, very, very important as far as Microsoft Excel is concerned. So when you are in the View tab, you can do a whole lot of things. Freeze panes, you can zoom in and zoom out and all that. So more videos on powerful Excel shortcut keys that you'll be using is coming up. Just stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe to this channel to always get the best out of it. So the next keyboard shortcut key that we'll be looking at is Alt M. So pressing down Alt and M, you notice that it will take you to the formulas menu bar. How about that? So the formula menu bar is also another powerful place where you can do a whole lot of things and add a whole lot of formulas and functions. Now, the next set of keyboard shortcut keys that we're going to be looking at is the Ctrl plus arrow key. Now, when you press down Ctrl and you press the left arrow key, it's going to move you to the very first column of that particular table where you are working on. Now, holding down Ctrl and the right arrow key is going to move you to the last column of that particular table that you are working with. Okay, the first cell of the last column of that particular table that you are working on. Now, when you hold down Ctrl and you press the down arrow key, it's going to move you to the last row of the last column of that particular table that you're working with. If you press down Ctrl and you press the right arrow key at that instance, it's going to move you to the first column of the last row of that particular table. Is that not super awesome? So pressing down Ctrl and your up arrow key is going to move you to the first column of the first row of that particular table that you're working with. Is that not super awesome? So Ctrl down arrow key, Ctrl left arrow key, Ctrl up arrow key, Ctrl left arrow key. These are actually Excel navigation keys. Is that not super awesome? What you use it for is to navigate between your workbook. Now, the navigation also depends on where your cursor is. Supposing my cursor is at this cell B25 and I hold down Ctrl right arrow key, it's going to move me to the last column of that particular row where I am. Is that right? So if I hold down Ctrl left arrow key, I will come back to what? B25. When I hold down Ctrl down arrow key, it's going to move me to the last row of that particular column where I am. If I hold down Ctrl up, and it should take me to the first column and the first row of that particular table. So make sure you use all these Excel shortcuts keys judiciously. All right. The next Excel keyboard shortcut key that we're going to be looking at is the CtrL Home button. Now, when you press down the Control and the Home button on your keyboard, wherever you are in Microsoft Excel, is going to move you to the very first cell on your worksheet, which is A1. Is that all right? Now, supposing we get to the end of this worksheet, which is AS5001, and you press Ctrl Home on your keyboard, it's going to move you straight to the first cell of your worksheet, which is column A and row 1. Now, what happens when you press down Ctrl End, which is actually the last part of the keyboard shortcut key that we're looking at now? Okay, Ctrl End does magic. It takes you to the last column and the last row of that particular Excel table that you're working with. All right. The shortcut keys in Excel help you work on your data quickly. So in this video, we have seen how we're able to use some of the most powerful Excel keyboard shortcut keys on our Microsoft Excel tasks. To perform the many tasks in Microsoft Excel quickly, Excel has a set of shortcuts. Various operations can be achieved with a few simple keyboard strokes. Hope you have seen how you can use these many Excel keyboard shortcut keys to make your work easier. If you got value in this video, go ahead to smash the subscribe button right away. Also like and share this video. Remember, in the next video, we are going to be looking at more advanced Excel cell formatting keyboard shortcut keys. Don't miss that. Click the link in the video now showing on your screen to watch that video immediately. Microsoft Excel made easy.